And jig is up.
Yep.
Sorry. You can't sneak in here anymore. You had a lot of people looking for you last night.
Here?
Yeah, they did their Monday Night Maniac, Monday Night Football party. And actually, you know what? You already have a massive ego. We know that.
That's true.
You're a columnist now.
It's true.
Every time I'm here, pretty much everyone assumes that we're together all the time.
Sure.
They're like, "Where's Adam?" I'm like,
roommates.
I don't know. And I, you know what? I say this all the time, and I'm not trying to rip anyone on the show or suggest that like everyone on the show doesn't like each other. I really don't talk to anyone on the show outside of the show because everyone has their jobs. I text with you guys a little bit, hardly. So that was the grand plan. I'm like, well, we know Adam's going to be here, probably.
Yeah, it's a good chance.
This is one of your work spots?
And it worked out.
Not a coffee house in the area?
I mean, I've been known to stop by and jump on the Wi-Fi and get some work done.
We got all our good friends here. Big Tone. We might have to get him on later.
Big Tone's here.
He is here.
He really is. I think he lives here.
He was here last night. So was I.
Did he go home?
I actually left after he did, so I saw him leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's good.
I saw our buddy PJ's here. Luckily, he lives real close, so he walked home.
Sure.
Last night, he called me Scott.
It's close.
He turned around. He was woo out of it.
I literally had
he was out of it.
I literally had a sober person that I've worked with for 10 years call me Alex today.
Is that right?
We do have another Alex that works in the paper, but
Okay.
I was like, not me.
They got discombobulated?
Yeah, not me.
It happens.
Yeah.
I'm getting closer to, I don't know if your mom does this or Kurt does it or your dad. I'm getting closer to like my parents' mentality or flaw where you start to try to name someone and you're like, what's his name? My parents have been that way with my two brothers and I in conversation talking about the other one. They never can get the name out. They're like,
as long as you don't get to the point where you use those weird like phrases like, who's a majigger?
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
What
is that?
We don't. But I can't. Okay.
That's just a random blabbery thing.
All right. As I've explained many times, if you hear us going on and on about whatever and not getting to the main topic right away, I don't want to talk about the Jets. So we're not. I mean, I guess we will.
I do.
Well, first of all, can we get to the number one concern in your existence is fantasy football?
Sure.
So you have 60-plus teams?
Yeah.
I have no idea if you have Chris McCaffrey, but I know every league in the world, Chris McCaffrey is a centerpiece for someone. Might have been the number one pick.
Yeah.
What exactly happened yesterday?
Well, yesterday, after being questionable for most of the week and announcing Friday that he will play, Christian McCaffrey was announced as inactive 90 minutes before the game, which, it's a story in real life because, he's not playing. But I think it's a bigger story in the fantasy football world and the betting world where people have prop bets and everything else. And we've talked about this. Like, you might not think it's a big deal. And you might say, who cares about fantasy players? Who cares about bettors? Well, once the NFL started taking money from them, it matters. And it should matter. And there needs to be something done about this. And part of the issue is that you can just kind of get by with, hey, we gave it a go in warm-ups, didn't feel good, moved on. But apparently now the entire 49ers organization is furious at Jordan Mason after having a great game yesterday. Because he was asked on the field after the game, hey, tough spot. So you in there 90 minutes before the game, that's tough.
You know what's funny about that? I saw that come out, and then I saw him say, I hate talking to the media. And it's like, well, is that the media's fault? Like, if the organization doesn't tell you and you don't know any better, like the media gotcha. Either the Niners have to tell him or he's got to know it.
Yeah. Also, it's not media, really. I mean, it is to some extent, but it was the broadcast. Like, don't lump them in. The access is very different.
Wow.
And
maybe he'll ban talking to whoever the carrier, the carrier is each week. Which, by the way, have we gotten an update?
So I didn't finish. Real quick,
have we got an update on Deion Sanders and his overall ban on CBS because they're on CBS this week?
He's not going to be on the game.
He'll differentiate. Trust me.
Yeah,
keep going.
But what Jordan Mason said was, no, I didn't just find out for the game. They told me Friday I was playing and he was out. Ooh. That became a problem because they were trying to pretend like that wasn't the case, and he told the truth.
Yep.
and that's an issue. So 49ers are probably going to be in some trouble. Whatever that means is, a fine or something like that, which they'll just pay. But that is an issue, and it's a problem. And it's because the NFL does take money from gambling sites and from fantasy sites. They have to have these, or we're not going to take money anymore, and you can do whatever you want with the injury.
No injury reports can be as inaccurate as we want. We can play the games we want to play.
That's fine.
Just hide news from the opponent, hide news from the public.
And by the way, it kind of pertains to the Raiders this week because no injury report is required until Wednesday. Nobody's seen Lamar Jackson. And John Harbaugh said, don't have to tell you till Wednesday.
Which I don't blame him.
No, that's the rules. It's totally fine.
I mean, if it were me, and how long's Harbaugh been in Baltimore? Is it up 20 years now? Whatever it is, 18?
Yeah.
And I had that much equity, and, the league ain't going to do anything to me. I'd be like, you know what? When I get a cut of the gambling money, then I will be real willing early in the week to give you snippets of what's going on injury-wise. But the boss is pocketing it. The league is pocketing it. I'm following the rules I need to follow.
Yeah, and it also gives you a glimpse into what would happen if they didn't have the cuts from the gambling companies, where Harbaugh would say, you'll find out when we take the field on Sunday.
Game time decision.
Yeah. Which would be totally fine. I'm not advocating against that. I'm just saying once you start taking money, you can't have it both ways.
Yep.
And that's what the league kind of tries to do, but they're going to have to come down to the 49ers for this.
The funny thing is your seriousness about details and rules and following rules when it comes to gambling, it's often people who sell picks who laugh at you the most, which I find hilarious.
Yeah.
Aren't they affected by it? What's the big deal?
It should be. And they are. I think they know that they are.
You're making such a big deal of it.
Yeah.
I didn't say all of them. I said some.
Yeah, it's important. And it should be important to you in your business, unless you are just scamming people.
I'll give you something else. I saw a former bookmaker who's been a tout for, 10 years. Unfortunately, is very much a losing gambler. Was pointing out that while this is a big fantasy story, in the real world, McCaffrey doesn't make much of a difference to the point spread, a half point or a point. But
it's prop betting.
But okay, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because we have to get into Mason.
Yeah.
But also, a lot of, we see it every week. A lot of where the line goes, yes, they're trying to manage money. Maybe they take a position, but a lot of it is public perception.
Yeah.
I don't believe the public would react to McCaffrey being out going into the game and it only having a half point or point effect, unless Sharps just basically regulated it the other way. I think people would have gone gaga on this game.
I don't know. I think
where was the number?
Was it 4 down to 3 at some point? It was bouncing around.
It would have never gone under 3.
Right, but I think it wouldn't have been a drastic impact on the point spread. I think that's correct. But it's a prop betting market, and it's not just because you can say, well, McCaffrey props get refunded. Right, but what about Debo props that you would have bet his rushing yards because, all of a sudden now he's going to be in the backfield a lot? What about, obviously, Jordan Mason props? What about all these other players? Because Jordan Mason still was going to play. His rushing prop was very low. It would have been different. All these things are affected. And so if you are in the gambling world, yes, you should take these things seriously, and you should be advocating for more transparency because the league is taking money for providing it.
It's Cofield and Company. We're live at Oasis Bar and Grill here on a Tuesday. We'll be out here on a bunch of Tuesdays this month. Tremendous menu. It is big. There's a lot of items. I was thinking about Oasis and the size of the menu, and cafes in town can rival it at a lot of the hotel casinos. The difference is, unfortunately, now when you go to a lot of cafes, the prices start at $18 and oftentimes land at the top item in the 50s at cafes.
Sure.
This is one of the closest things, Oasis and their kitchen, to what I grew up around. And you grew up a decent amount in the Northeast or places that would have diners. When you look through the menu, you're like, my God, there's so many things to choose from. I was asking the other day.
Size of the nachos?
They have. I have not. No, I haven't seen the nachos in a while.
Oh, yeah.
Are you a nacho guy here?
Oh, they're great.
Well, you're a salad without tomatoes guy.
I am.
I know
that's
that.
what I usually order.
And I know you used to be. You were a heavy. Anytime you can get tacos, you're big on that as well.
Sure.
Soft shell, hard shell.
You either, but I think
you're flexible.
Yeah, sure. Taco's taco.
Okay. Decatur, just south of Trop. It's Oasis Bar and Grill. Come on down. We'll tell you about the dinner special in just a little bit. One of our favorite things about the place, also kind of a loose, unfiltered jukebox, which I'm a big study of around the market, right? A lot of places have tightened up the machine. Adam needs a loose machine.
We can talk about the fact that there was a sign that referenced me on the jukebox for a while.
For a while, they weren't always happy with DJ Adam.
Yeah.
DJ Tsunami.
Well, you put the songs on there.
If it's available, I'm playing it. And if you don't know it, says certain things, I'm playing it. We've cleaned it up, unfortunately, over the years. Oasis Bar and Grill, Decatur, just south of Trop. We're just rolling out into the 3-hour show. Griffin is back in the Findlay Toyota Studios. We'll come back. We will get to the Jets side of things. As last night, not a great night for the Jets, not a great night offensively. It was a good night for some kid named Mason, as we mentioned, and the Niners, as Adam always calls it, with their football offense porn, did whatever they wanted.
The press box has stats and giggles.
Raygun, the Australian breakdancer, has talked to the media for the first time. Here's some quotes for her. Unfortunately, we just need some more resources in Australia for us to have a chance.